it going. Tuesday, the 10th of June. We are about a week-ish away from being halfway through the year. Crazy. Time really does fly. So yeah, looking at this order book now, we have a lot of stuff stacking below us. I'm not sure. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff stacking below us at like 106 to 10. Yeah, 106k now. Since yesterday, we gained the node at 105.3 and actually did a bullish backtest of 105k. So yeah, and as you can see, a lot of these shorts got hit on the way up as well. So it's looking kind of interesting. In terms of the order book, in terms of liquidity, oh, this is not load. This has not been loading. Let's hope that loads for a sec. Is the stream okay? I'm getting a tiny bit of lag. Hope everything's okay. On the 6th of June, which was 4 days ago, 9th, 8th. About Friday, so last Friday, we're at 60% long in the market. We've now come down to 67% short. That's a major, major swing. That's probably one of the biggest swings I've seen in a short period of time. Probably not the biggest, but definitely one of the biggest in a few day period. I mean, 67% short is very, very extremely low. Anything below 0.5 or above 1.5 is like really, really big. Um, so yeah, that's something. I am, just as a disclaimer, I am short at the moment. Why is this not loading today? Hold on, we might have to use coin gloss. Liquidation. Is everything good? Can you just tell me? Let me just. I think it's struggling on Discord. Maybe I'll go down to 30 FPS. Yeah, good. It's fine on my OBS. I can't. It just says it's loading on Discord. But hopefully it's fine because no one's really saying anything. Fucking hell. Let's look quickly. Jesus, come on, mate. You can do it. Okay, nice. So local staff 106.6. That kind of lines up with the order book, I think, which was a lot of longs stacked in around 106k. So that's quite an interesting level. We also have the low from. I mean, the times are going to be different for you guys, but the low at 106.7. So that could be a potential area that might be looking interesting to hedge along. I'm short, so I'll be looking at that possibly that area. And then to the upside, just get the metrics out of the way nice and quick. Let's go to the charts. Let's go to the charts. I'm actually gonna. Fucking hell, Discord's being really buggy today. I'm just assuming that everything's fine, even though it's lagging a lot. Because no one said anything, but okay. Fucking hell, bro, this is really painful at the moment. What's going on? It's definitely a Discord problem. Like, 100%. Oh, and then it just stopped. Okay, cool. Let's try that again. Can everyone see my screen? I think it's fine now. Okay, cool. I think it's fine. So let's have a look. We'll have a little look. So, yeah, I was kind of talking about 108 to 109k, mainly 109k to potentially short. I'm actually short from 109, 109.5, 109.6. I nearly got stopped out, very nearly. I had it about 110, 110.8, so I was like really, really close to getting stopped out on my short, but I have not. Um, we actually went all the way up to the 86 as well, which is pretty interesting. And I actually don't want to even look at this specific Bitcoin chart. Nor that one. Actually, probably the one before was better. The Bybit one. Yeah, so we basically went all the way up and tested this swing at like 110k. Super interesting. Lots of shorts coming in. I am one of those shorts, and we are getting a red dot on the oscillator on this one. I think it's very simple now. If you're not in a short, you can short that daily open up to the 86. It is fine. Just keep in mind that most of the market is short. You might get blown out. We all might get blown out on a wick up here, and then it might just fail because every short will get stopped or something. Um, but yeah, it just makes sense to potentially hedge a short here for a retest. Um, I don't want to long up here. But yeah, it's looking interesting now for sure in terms of that. And yeah, I'll potentially be longing 106k when we come down, just like I said, where that liquidity is and the orders come in as well. If we're looking like longer term, longer time frame, let's actually have a look at the Bitcoin DOM. Still kind of doing nothing. ETH Bitcoin's actually up on the day, which is very interesting, potentially signaling gold. We've also bet which I see the big levels we can come out with these. Hopefully we can start seeing some odds fly maybe. Let me just check the chat. Everything's good. Everything's fine. Everything's all good. Yeah, let's go. In terms of actual plays, so really like that. The reason for this is it's not really the high level that we failed from about 404 to 4.1 ish with a stop at like 415 or whatever or something like that on 3x lev. So yeah, I'm in a nice little short, and I'll be taking profit if we come back down into the June and weekly open, and if we make it on podcast, then and yeah, that's the essence of the of the Stubifib X combination band. In terms of the other two, I'm actually in hype, still in a hype long from 30. Well, to be honest, my entry price is a lot lower because I still had some of my trade left over from $16. But I had quite a few orders set in between like 32 and 33 ish. So, but I'll do it after. So yeah, that's me. I'm pretty happy with those because I did get stopped out on a couple long when we dumped and made the new low. So I'm pretty happy with those. What's everyone else looking at or trading or in before we start having a look at another things? Oh, something that did interest me that I was actually looking at before, because this is actually one of the times where I got inside half an hour before my stream and actually had a look at the market, is Bohm. So I've marked this 4 hour swing, and this is also the 1 hour swing up here as the high. And you also have the combination band coming up here for maybe a little short just down to March. June level would be really good. That could look really interesting. So yeah, that's a quick little roundup of some of my moves since yesterday. Um, One thing that is still looking really good actually is Injective. It's actually been one of the first alts that was making higher highs and higher lows since it did its new low on from Friday. And I've seen look at what's gained the weekly open and what's also made a new high. So made a new gain the weekly open. Bid that if it has a not bro. Um, Right, any better? Hopefully that's a little bit better now. Encoding overloaded. Might be my OBS. I think Discord's lagging a little bit today. I did just do an update on it. So hopefully that's better though. A bit better. Yeah. I mean, from when I started it up, it was lagging a little bit. I literally just did an update, so it might be because of that. Better? Okay, good. Did you hear of any of what I've said, or shall I go back through it? I was just basically talking about some of the positions that I was in. Okay, very little. Okay, let's do it again because I actually had some good things to say, you know. Um, so we started with Popcat. I said I'm actually in the short on Popcat, and the essence of basically my whole trading strategy, which I used to not use Stubifibs actually. I used to just use combination bands on price action, but now I use Stubifibs, and it's just honestly, it's like it can be a cheat code. It actually can be a cheat code sometimes. So we have a high here, and we have a new low. So we pull the fib. Just let me know if it's okay now. You can hear me, right? Because I can see Orca typing. Stupid are great. Yes, yes, okay. Yes, stupid are so good because you can literally just go onto any time frame and like map out a setup. So like without the stupid you're kind of like you feel a little bit blind sometimes. You feel like Velma without her glasses, bro, from Scooby Doo. But when you get them on, you can just go onto any time frame, any coin, and just be like, okay, here's the setup. Let me wait. Put my alert in. Bang. Exactly that. Exactly. And now I've incorporated it into my strategy that I made. Actually, I actually made one with the combination bands and the whole like some of MDX's stuff, and they just fucking hit so much. So yeah, pull the fib. Here's the zone. Turn the stupid fibs on. Okay, 4 hours coming in perfectly. That's your zone. Auto charting tools, are we in resistance? Do we have a major level? Perfect. And then you could even use Scout Pro if you're on slightly lower time frames. But yeah, you can also see that once we got into here, we were in the overbought area of the oscillator. So I landed a few bids in up here on 3x Lev. And now I will be taking profit in between June and the weekly open. And if we make a new low, like I was talking about to 2-4, I'm in a literally a goated entry. So yeah, that's Popcat. I'm in a short right now. I'm still in my hype long. The reason why I didn't get stopped out is because I had some left over from $16. So my bids in between 32 and 33 didn't get stopped. So some of you guys, if you did bid that, like 32, 33, maybe 31, you might have got wicked out, unfortunately. But if you didn't, then you're happy days. I should probably take some profit. And then Fartcoin also, I was quite vocal on stacking this between $1 and 93 cents. And because I'm on 3x cross, I don't really have to worry too much about getting stopped out. And we've since made a new high. So yeah, if no one's in Fartcoin, there is a potential for a failure here and a reload in between here. And then what do we have? We have a nice little smiley face pattern, which holds the Q4 or the weekly open or June or something like that. And that was the roundup. Oh, also, I did say quickly that I did have actually seen a little bit of value on Bohm potentially as well. So, just like this. And then if we go to the hourly, those two lines at the top are the 4 hour and the 1 hour swing highs between 202, so literally here. We also have the 4 hour and the 1 hour combination band coming in, and the AA6 right there. So a failure of the daily open and the 786 is obviously going to take us down to March for the first target, and then potentially down to June in the weekly open as the final target in a short like this. Don't go on more than 3x on this if you're interested in taking it. But yeah, I have seen a little bit of value there as well. For example, on the 4 hour, you can see that we have a new low, and we also have the combination band. We're also getting the W reversal. We're also oversold on the oscillator. This is kind of exactly what I want to see. Confirmation will be the failure of the daily open now, and I think we're probably going to get that. So yeah, if you can see any other coins that kind of look quite similar to this, definitely slap them in the chat and we'll have a look at them today, because there's definitely some value actually in the market right now that I can see. But yeah, some things have made new highs. So H-bar, Injective, those are sort of the coins that you kind of want to look for bidding, for potentially bidding lower. And I mean like weekly open, June, retest, or retest even higher maybe. Excuse me. Yeah. So it's a good one. It's a good one. Sometimes you gotta just take these auto charting tools off as well and just be like, okay, let me just do. So if you're in a short on sushi, then you're chilling, and then you're like, oh, okay, where are my levels potentially take profit? Okay, we've got November coming in around the 618, and then we've got August and May slightly lower. This is just if you are in a trade like this, for example, and then this area, and then that's the low. If you lose that, then you're gonna go fucking into here. So yeah, decent amount of value today. If anyone has anything that they particularly want to look at, I would very much appreciate it. AVAX also actually made a new high as well and has gained, so this is potentially one that could be looking interesting to long. Maybe not right here, but maybe a little bit lower, sort of in this area. And we also have overlapping support as well, so interesting as well. Very, very interesting. And then yeah, like I said, if we've made a new high and we don't hold those auto charting levels, you can also do that, and that actually comes in around the 4 hour combination band. Interesting. I'm not sure if I really like that too much though. That's made a new high. That hasn't made a new high. That was a nasty lickwick on a dot there. Bitcoin and ETH hit 786, 886 this morning. Yes. Yes, they did. Which is why I'm short on Bitcoin. I'm not short on ETH. The reason why I'm not short on ETH is because I'm slightly more bullish on ETH. Actually made a new high. Also, ETH Bitcoin looks relatively strong. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. We could actually go down into the lower time frames, to be honest, and put Scout Pro on. Let's not use that. What do we have down here? Reversion, Bollinger, commodity channel's not that good. RSI and stochastic is good. That's kind of what you want to see on Scout Pro. Chande movement I don't think is that of a big deal. Interesting. Yeah, let's have a look at a couple things. I need to get a new hype chart. I promise you when I go back to London, or at some point when I have a bit of time, I'm going to clean up all my charts, and I'm going to get like a fresh one right next to one that I have loads of shit on as well. Just because it's a bit of a nightmare, isn't it? Yeah, so hype's actually made a new high. We're in resistance right now. Potentially, if you fail that daily open, you could take that short down to the weekly. but it's a really strong coin. I don't really like shorting hype. Kind of looks like we're gonna try and arc up a little bit. The tests from Friday were actually really good. They were actually the. I remember looking at sorry, this is hype on Friday and being like, this is actually one of the coins that hasn't made a new low, and we've since made a new high. This is definitely an area potentially to pull back from, but there's no evidence of it just yet. We're starting to get some reversion. I can't. Why can't I highlight that? That's not highlighting for some reason. Anyway, I'll flip that off for now unless we go on like a lower time frame, because that's not really a big deal on the 4 hour. It's okay on the 1 hour, and it's good on the 15 minute and stuff like that. But yeah. I guess we'll just have a look at some of the stuff, some of these things. So yeah, kind of similar to what I was talking about with Bowman Popcat is Doge. So if you kind of looked at Doge in terms of potentially shorting it, even if you think we are going to go a little bit higher because ETH Bitcoin's holding and stuff like that, and you might see it all, there was still a very valid setup here. This is exactly the same as Popcat, to be honest. Um, Combination band in the 86 pocket. Probably have a major level there. It's the previous weekly open. We actually held it on that next 4 hour candle, but then since dropped it on this 4 hour candle. So something like that, you could even reshort it down to the weekly open, maybe. But yeah, it's kind of mainly gone actually for now. Probably looking quite similar on the 1 hour. So yeah, if you're not in the shorts, you kind of miss them. Wait for the retests, or there could even be some longs coming up, guys, actually, as well. Could definitely be some longs coming up, especially if we hold some of these weekly opens and these combination bands on the hourly. We could really be seeing a little bit of rampiness in the market, especially in some alts. What's Solana doing? Let's have a little look. Again, very similar to Doge and Popcat that I just showed you. I think I've got too much on at the moment. Just turn those off. This actually arced up a little bit. It's not the most perfect, but it did do a perfect test of the 4 hour swing. Not perfect, but nearly. Not sure if I would short that, personally. That looks a slightly a bit more strong, and then yeah, Injective also looks pretty darn strong as well. That's been making high highs and high lows for a little while. Potentially a long on March in the weekly open if it were to hold on the 4 hour. So yeah, that's me. Hype at A86 now when using a trend-based fib attention extension to the daily. Yeah, it's hype's at an area that could potentially pull back. This is also just. I mean, it's currently above it, and it's above the daily open. Let me get the. Let's go on Bybit. Oh, this is Bybit. Lol. Let's go on Binance. Oh no, let's not go on Binance then. Let's go on BXC then. Okay, cool. Oh no, why has that got a incorrect wicks? Okay, no, we don't want that. Alright, let's get a fucking blowfin then. Alright, cool. Perfect. um, it's not looking the worst. It needs to fail that daily open to short this, to be honest. I'm definitely not looking to short that right now. We are cooked on the oscillator though. Let's have a look at the hourly. Let's actually have a look at the lower time frames on this. That looks like quite a serious gain so far. Nothing on Scout Pro at the top. 15 minutes arcing over, but is potentially creating some support on the daily. I wouldn't short that yet, just not. I mean, very micro. If we're like very micro analyzing this, did make a new low here. Yeah, I mean, you kind of want to wait for something like that. Bang, short. I'm not shorting that yet though. Possible, possible, possible. Definitely an area to potentially pull back from. Look at that 4 hour as well. You're getting the R as well. We're overextended. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yup, need low, low. Yep, exactly, 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 exactly. But yeah, definitely a lot of things are looking decent or potential setups across the board. Tao's actually made a higher high. It's actually closed above June. That looks mildly interesting. We're up against resistance now. I mean, I own this coin on spot, so that's actually closed higher, but hasn't made a higher wick. A little bit indecisive on this one. Not very clear cut. Not very clear cut at all, actually. I would rather stay away from things like that. We haven't actually checked Pepe. It probably looks quite similar. This did a gain of that, but it's not really that important at the moment. In resistance, kind of looks similar to Hype. Looks like it wants to pull back, but it's above the daily at the moment. What about Ada? I haven't had a look at Ada in ages, so that looks kind of interesting. Yeah. What are you guys looking at? Anything else? Anything in particular? We already had a brief look at it. That actually wicked straight into the band. AVAX is actually one that's looking relatively decent compared to the rest of the market. I actually want to take these. I'm going to take these fibs off now. Not really anything for there for me. So yeah, I'm mildly interested in Injective and AUX for potential new positions. I'm already in 2 longs, Hype and Fartcoin, and I'm in 2 shorts on Bitcoin and Popcat. So I'm kind of pretty much covered at the moment, unless anyone were to show me something very attractive, 10-10 across the bar sort of vibes, then I'm largely going to be unchanged today and just kind of let this play out. Now I am looking at potentially some longs. Oh, Infineo's up 20% today. Look at that candle. It's not really too much in the grand scheme of things though, is it? Deep. Maybe deep. Oh yeah, I do have an alert on deep at around 1485-ish. 145, 148-ish. Some of this area. If we were to come back down there, I'd potentially be looking quite interested. Yeah, quite a few of the alts were pumping yesterday. Yeah, they were. No, nothing. It's still in analysis period, waiting on a clear entry, or at least my mind to clear. Yeah, if you got analysis paralysis, I always love saying that. Um, you've probably been looking at too many charts too frequently. So maybe just go have a few hours break. Set some alerts, go have a few hours break or something, and then come back with a clear head. Hopefully, we always get it. I used to get it quite a lot back in London because I was like looking at charts like maybe 8 hours a day, possibly. But then I take literally every weekend off without fail. I don't really look at charts on Saturday unless I'm really bored and I'm like, yeah, let's do some gambling, scalping on the 3 minute bobcat or some shit. But usually Friday night and Saturday don't look at any charts, and then Sunday in the day until later on in Sunday night when things start to get a little bit more interesting for the weekly close. But yeah, that's how I avoid analysis paralysis, because then I would be on the charts like 24/7 all the time every day. So Saturday's a really good day to take off because not really too much happens unless we get like fucking like crazy old bumpy weekends or shit. But you'll know if that's happening, and you should be positioned anyway if that's happening. So yeah. Um, Arve actually made a really nice new high. This is one that I always have my eye on. Actually, has potentially something to do with DeFi and being like a legitimate DeFi coin or one of the oldest. Again, we're getting some wicks into the band. I've also got this line on which is resistance, so potentially an area to short up in here. It also has quite a clean invalidation of about, yeah, you could potentially scale into something with 2% stop. I wouldn't be mad at you on Arve. Just know that has made a new high and it is above its daily open. So if you were to short that, one, it could wick into here and then hold and go a little bit higher, or it could just come back down to here and then do that. So yeah, definitely potential though. That's actually not too bad. You already got the lick as well. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. I do like stuff like that. If I was watching that before, I could potentially put some orders up there and would have got hit on a couple high ones. Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, nice. What day is it today? Oh, it's Tuesday. Ugh. So yeah, that's the general gist. Definitely set some orders around coins that have gained June and the weekly open, potential retracers, and uh, yeah, I really don't know what's going to happen with Bitcoin at the moment. It's quite exciting actually because we've made a new low. We actually broke structure on Friday, so and the market was majority long at that point, and then we've come up into resistance, very high resistance, and the market's majority short at the moment. So it's a very interesting time. Very interesting. Definitely gonna have to be keeping an eye on it this week. As for re-entries, there's definitely a re-entry on this daily open. If we gain that shit, we're gonna start fucking flying, bro. I'm gonna really start fucking flying. And rip all those shorts. But yeah, I am short. Everyone's short. Let's see what happens. I'm more than happy to get fucking ripped out of this. I think my stops are like whatever kind of whale's looking at me is probably at like 110.7 now. I tightened it up a little bit. And yeah, if anyone's got anything else for me to look at, slam it in the chat now. If not, I might retire for the afternoon. Let's just have a look at Sui quickly. We'll have a look at Render. We'll have a look at Tia. We'll have a look at some alts quickly. If no one's got anything, because I just do feel like looking at a few. So Sui did a. Let me just. Sometimes you just have to just hold on. Let me get my bearings on this chart a little bit. That's probably a daily swing. So this is probably the daily swing that led us to the new low. That's the new low. We've since made a new high from here. Resistance on the daily swing. What we want to do is we want to hold here around there for higher. Just take all of that off. Combination band comes in. We've got June. We've got overlapping support. So yeah, as long as we don't lose this, we might just go higher on this. This is potentially an area to short the first time if we come back up. And then, yeah, that's your area to long. Potentially some two-sided plays on Sui, actually. Which was actually looking really bad first. Since done the regain. Not bad, not bad, not bad. I might actually set some alerts. Why not? We'll do June. And we'll do just underneath December. There we go. Alert me, sir. LQT. You're an LQT, mate.